Hey fourth graders, Miss Muldoon here. For today's lesson, we're going to be searching for our thesis statement for our new essay. If you can recall, you need to think about what a thesis statement might be, and you might ask yourself, what is that? A thesis statement is your big idea. Okay, and it's your big idea about what you've been writing about so far. So you might need to collect some of your paperwork and some of your assignments from last week in order to do this assignment. You might want to look through your free writes about that feeling that you've been experiencing during quarantine, and you're going to look at those feelings. You're going to look at your free writes from the articles, and you're going to really look at what you've been experiencing and form a thesis statement from that. So you might collect your free write, and here's my free write that I copied down on paper about how I'm experiencing anxiety. I'm feeling anxious during this quarantine, so I can use my free write there. I could also use my note-taking that I got from the video, so I have that in front of me. Okay, now we take those feelings and we first, number one, we form a question. All right, and we are going to create a question about our topic. Okay, and I have this great graphic organizer for you right in front of you, and we have the step one here, and it says ask a question. And looking through my notes, I'm noticing that I'm feeling anxious, so maybe my question is, why am I experiencing anxiety during this quarantine? Or I could even say, why am I feeling anxious during this quarantine? And I need to fix my spelling for the first one, and luckily we have the spell check there. Okay, so I have these questions in front of me, and I really like this one down here. Why am I feeling anxious during this quarantine? All right, and that's going to be my first question. So I form a question by looking at my free writes, by looking at my notes, and I form a question. Okay, so number one, I formed my question. Now, step two, I'm going to now find the reasons, and I might ask myself, what are some reasons you are feeling anxious during this quarantine? So I could go back to my notes, and I could go back to my free writes, and I'm going to look through my free writes. So I could go through my free write, and I could read it. During this quarantine, I am feeling anxious. I'm feeling anxious because I want this virus to stop. I'm also feeling anxious because I want to get out of my house to see my family and friends face to face. When I'm stuck in the house, I want the virus to go away. So I could look through my writing, and that's where I can form my reasons. So I could go back to my graphic organizer and go to step two, where I come up with reasons, and I'm going to come up with 3 of them, okay? So why am I feeling anxious during this quarantine? Maybe I could start off by saying because schools and businesses are closed. I'm also feeling anxious because I miss my family. And my friends. And I'm also feeling anxious during this quarantine because I want the virus to go away, and I don't want my loved ones to catch this virus, okay? So why am I feeling anxious during this quarantine? Maybe I can even say that I'm anxious because the coronavirus is frightening. Okay? So that's how I found my thesis statement, and my reasons. So it's not that much work today. So you are coming up with your number one, your question to form your thesis statement, and 3 reasons to support it. If you have any questions, pop into my Zoom, but make sure you're watching this video before you come into the Zoom. All right, boys and girls, best of luck today.